now on to some fun stuff. Okay, tonight for our bushcraft section, or survival section, we're going to review the Esbit stove. This product's made in Germany, and it's a nice little camping, hiking, bushcraft, SHTF, EDC stove. It's small, it's 3 inches by 4 inches. It weighs in at 89 grams empty, and if you put 4 of the Esbit burn cubes inside of it, it weighs in at 147 grams, so it's super light. It's designed for a cook pot to sit on top of it. You open the product like that. You can store your little fire cubes inside of there. Then it sits, and you can set a pot on top of it and cook with it. Very unique little product. Haven't tested it much, so we're going to run it through some tests tonight. We're actually going to boil and time 2 cups of water, which, as all of you know, most of your freeze-dried meals require 2 cups of boiled water poured into the bag, and then you leave them sit anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes before you can enjoy your entree. So if you're out and going to be cooking or you're starving, how long is it going to take you to boil the water you need to prepare your food? Does it take 1 cube? Does it take 2? Does it take 2 minutes? Does it take 10 minutes? I don't know. That, I think, is part of the functionality and whether I can say this is a good product or not. I mean, granted, it's light, it's compact, everything fits together. Yes, I can fit this in a small portion of my EDC bag, which is where I pulled this one from, but will it do what it's supposed to do? So we're actually going to test that. We're going to boil 2 cups of water. I'm going to set a timer and time it. We're going to see how long it takes, how many cubes it takes, and know if this is a functional little piece of equipment or not, or is it just a really neat little gadget, because it is really cool. You can see it makes a nice little tripod there, holds the stuff. It's got little tabs that the pans sit on, and from what I can tell, it sits relatively level. It can hold some weight. I mean, with the fire underneath it, we'll see how long it takes to cook. So we're going to break away over to the fire safe zone over by my wood burner. I'm going to light up this bit and start my timer, and we're going to see how long it takes. So we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, we've got 2 cups of water. I'm going to pour it into my REI cook pot here. This would be, again, the amount of water you would need for any type of your freeze-dried meals or whatnot. We'll go ahead and light the included fuel cube. Okay, we got a nice fire going there. We'll set that on there and we'll start our timer and see how long. As you can see, this little Esbit fuel cube puts out quite an impressive little flame. It's actually licking up around the side of the pot on the front and the back, about halfway up the pot. I'm very impressed with the amount of fire that's coming out of this small little cube. I don't think it's going to take too long for this 2 cups of water to get to a boil. Okay, so at 5 minutes and 34 seconds, we have definite bubbles rising to the top of the pot. It is not a rolling boil, but the pot is definitely at a boil. I would guess that water would be really close to 212 degrees right now. Leaving it in this state for 2 minutes would purify the water and take care of any contaminants, biological contaminants in it. And as you can see, there's a nice bit of bubbles building on the bottom of it, and we are just at 6 minutes. And the condition of the cube, I would say, is about 60 to 75% used up. So we probably have another 4 minutes or so on this cube. And the water is definitely boiling now, and I'm sure we would get the 2 minutes of boil necessary to purify this water. It's definitely hot enough now to add to any of your freeze-dried meals you want to do or anything else. It's definitely at that point. We'll continue to let this burn all the way out until the fire goes out and see what time that is and how long we've got to boil for. So we've already got to boil for 1 minute now. We'll call the boil right at 6 minutes, and we'll see how long we can get a boil going. Okay, we're at 10 minutes, 30 seconds. The cube is about burned out. We still have a slight boil in the pot, but right now we're just over 4.5 minutes of boil time, which really wouldn't be necessary unless maybe you were trying to cook some pasta or something like that, or and at that point you could definitely add another cube in there to keep some pasta or something boiling. But if you're just purifying water or trying to heat up some water to rehydrate a freeze-dried meal, we have definitely reached that point and surpassed it. I'll go ahead and the fire is just about out now. We'll go ahead and call that good. I would say 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Very little fire left. 11 minutes and 30 seconds of cook time. Right at the 6 minute mark we hit a boil, and we'll go back over to the table and discuss our results. Okay, so we've just finished the test on the Esbit stove. I am extremely impressed. It holds 4 cubes inside of it. It weighs hardly anything, 147 grams with 4 cubes in it. Got the cube lit, had 2 cups of water on it on a nice REI ceramic pot. It began to boil at the 6 minute mark. The cube itself burned out at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So we had 5 minutes of boil time on that water, which is more than enough for any of your immediate survival needs. If you're just heating up water to rehydrate a freeze-dried meal, a Mountain House or Wise Food, definitely could do it without question. You heat that water up, takes 5-6 minutes if you want to get it clear to a boil. You can pour it in, leave it sit and rehydrate. If you're trying to decontaminate some questionable water, get rid of the protozoans or any type of biologic life in there, and you want to do a 2 minute boil on it, 8 minutes. You've got 2 cups of water, you're ready to start cooling down, and once it cooled, you can go ahead and get yourself rehydrated. Again, this little stove, it can be picked up they're around $10. Got a nice little cutout on the inside where the cube sits, nice holes in it for some airflow. The sides actually act as a windshield, and once you set a pot on top of it, you've got a pretty effective windshield. It shouldn't be affected by the wind too much. If you're in an extremely windy situation or something, if you set logs or anything on either side of it here, you would effectively block off the entire thing. It would still have draw from the bottom to feed oxygen to your fuel cube to keep the fire going. But all in all, I'm extremely impressed with this little stove. It's definitely earned a spot in my everyday carry bag, and I'll probably pick up a second one and put it into my bug out bag just to have as a backup. You never know what's going to happen. Could have a fuel leak on your main container, can't get a fire going because it's raining. These little cubes will light. You can purify water, you can rehydrate your dehydrated meals, do an extra heat on an MRE if the MREs are what you carry with you. But all in all, definitely a very well designed, nice compact little piece of equipment here. And for $10, and it comes with the fuel cubes, comes in a box, $10, maybe free shipping. Find out where you can, search for it online. see what you can do. But I would say even if you had to pay for shipping for under $15, you can have yourself a nice little compact stove that you can throw into any of your bags and forget about. But when you need it, it'll be there, and it definitely does perform. It took care of that water in straight order. 6 minutes to a boil. I'm very impressed. Well, I'm John, and I'm coming at you from the heart of bourbon country. I'm going to bring you some more reviews, and then once the weather turns, because we just had Snowmageddon here, we're going to get outside and go over some bushcraft skills. I like to talk about putting together some bags, what I do for my bags. Might give you some pointers for putting yours together, and then also look at doing some things, building feather sticks, making knives, building a forge, maybe making your own blades if you want to. We're going to expand this channel out and cover as much as we can to help teach you to be self-sufficient, give you some pointers and tips. I'm not the expert. I'm learning as I go. I draw from other experts, and hopefully while you're drawing from the experts, I can maybe impart some knowledge to you and help improve your bushcraft skills, your survival skills. So until next time, I'm John, coming at you from the heart of bourbon country. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to finish my Sam Adams now. Sorry, that's my dishwasher going off there. And I don't mean my wife. The actual machine.
I'm gonna keep it going just so you feel awkward.